Hey, come on in, guys. Hey, Jay. What's going on, y'all? Hold on, let me pull this up so it's not falling. Here we go. Hey. Hey, Lioness. What's going on? I'm excited about today's discussion. Talking about anxiety. Hey, little mama. It's going to be good. I did some good research. Took some good notes from my own personal experience. Hey, Yellow Aesthetic. But I'm not going to talk a whole lot about me. I'm going to talk more about our topic. Not talk about me as much. Because, like, hey, Creamy Pies, like on every live, I always get people asking me about anxiety. In my inbox, y'all asking about anxiety. Hey, Fran4. I don't need that. Hey, Anime Slade. So I really want to help y'all the best way I can. Tell y'all what helped me. You know, it's soulless. It's a lowless. Hey, Sanaya. That's one of my old students, y'all. Come on in. I'm waiting about 2 more minutes for y'all coming in that was on my live last night and you weren't. Separation anxiety. We're gonna talk about anxiety. We're gonna talk about the topic of anxiety, and I think this can help cover a lot. I miss you too, Sanaya. If you were on the live last night, and we talked about moms, and I told y'all towards the end like I was having issues with my MacBook. Y'all know my MacBook, it betrayed me. It lost my whole video, like whole video gone. So I'm gonna have to record it with just the tips that I said and post it up there. But I am gonna do that because I know there were some people that were asking for it, and so I want to make sure y'all have it. But I was so mad. I stayed up like it's okay if you weren't on. So I stayed up like till midnight trying to wait for it. It just kept saying processing, and I was like, "It's gone. It's gone." Hey, Jizzy. I am your sis. I'm your sis on TikTok, right? I'm your TikTok sis. So as we say every time, if you have any questions that don't deal with what we're talking about right now, inbox me or add me on Instagram, inbox me there. So that way I don't get caught up trying to like answer your questions. Okay? And then y'all know I try to take questions throughout, but I'm trying not to do that for the recording's sake. But if you have some and it applies to what I'm talking about, then I can say something. But if you don't mind, try to hold it to the end, and I'll start doing more Q&As towards the end. So like I'll do like 2 type of Q&A. So like a Q&A for just what I'm talking about, and then like random Q&As if I can answer them. I don't like y'all telling y'all business a whole lot in the chat. So how do you deal with anger issues? That's one. We could talk about that, Lioness. Oh, thanks, Fran4. Some of my best sis. Oh, thanks. Wait about 1 more minute, and then I'm gonna get started. Okay, come on in, guys. I didn't even know you could share a live. If y'all don't mind sharing, share the live with people that you know deal with anxiety. Hey, zodiac signs. Share if you know people that have anxiety, they need help. I'm gonna do. Oh, so let me tell you. So y'all saying do a Zoom meet. So I said this earlier. I was live just saying hi, asking questions, because I just pop on sometimes during the day. So because TikTok is not very reliable because of everything that's going on. Hey, vegan, that vegan. We talking about anxiety today. We're gonna talk about it. I am actually creating my own online platform for you all. I've been building it before, and now I'm like, we really, really need it. And so I'm building another platform off of TikTok for you all to come on and join. It's free. The thing is, when you sign up, you have to have, if you're under 18, your parent needs to send, you need to have your parents' email to sign up. And the reason why is because it protects you and it protects me. So if something happens on your end and you need your mom to see, or your mom wants to know what's going on, because I know a lot of times moms don't like TikTok because they can't really see what's happening. You want to know, do I have anxiety because you're talking about it? I do. It used to be worse. It's gotten much better. I didn't really identify it as anxiety. I just said it was worry. But now, like that, I research it and like really look into it. I definitely have in the past. But I'm building my own online platform for you all. It'll be like forum type, so we'll still be able to talk back and forth. You can still send me messages. What if you're 17 and your mom don't care? You say your mom don't care, but you come off that message board crying about something, your mom is definitely gonna care. So to protect you and to protect me, and just in case mom wants to see what's going on, I want to keep it open for parents to be able to log on whenever they want to. So that way they can't say she's hiding anything. She got our girls on this group and we don't know what she's saying to them. No, your mom gonna be able to see everything I say and see everything you do, everything anybody else does. So I don't get in trouble and you don't get in trouble. And it helps to also build the trust between you and your mom. But all you need is their email. And but she gonna be like, you talk to your therapist. So you'll put in your parents' email, you'll create a username. I don't want you to put your picture because I don't want, that to be taken anywhere. Will I be able to tackle depression currently going through and you have no one to turn to? I'll dig a little bit into that, not a whole lot. What if you're 20? If you're over 18, no, you don't need it. Your parents' email. But yeah, and I'll be able to live stream on there too. Hey, casually simping. What if you don't know their email and don't tell them? I can't let you in because it goes to their email and they have to okay for you to be on there. I'm telling you, it's to save you and to save me. Like I done heard too many crazy stories. I done seen too many lawsuits with all kind of stuff going on. So I just want to protect you and I want to protect myself. So all it is a law. They don't ever have to see it. They may completely forget about it. But I just want it to be there for your sake and for my sake. Okay. So that link will go up either tomorrow or Sunday. Okay. So we are talking about anxiety and worrying. So I'm going to dish out some facts first. Like I got like 3 pages of notes, not big notes. You're going to go, yeah, that's fine. I'm recording on my tablet this time, so hopefully it works. And it'll be on YouTube. So if you ever want to check it out, no problem. Just head over to my YouTube page. The link is in my bio, and then you can see the old videos. All right, so I'm going to give you some facts first, and then like what anxiety is, what are the symptoms of it, and then we're going to start talking about ways to deal with it. Okay, so anxiety, they say, is persistent. Now listen, let me say this first. I am not in medicine. I did not go to school for mental health. None of that. This is something that I got off of the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. So nothing I say is official. Please consult your health physician or your doctor or your therapist to further state or let you know that you have anxiety. Okay? Just have to say that in the beginning so nobody gets mad at me. Because I'm not sitting here telling you got anxiety. All I'm saying is, this is what they say anxiety looks like. You go talk to the doctor. But I'm going to cover myself. Okay? All right. So, anxiety is a persistent and excessive worry about a number of things. So, it's like you anticipate disaster. So, before something happens, after something happens, while something is happening, in your mind, you're literally creating scenario after scenario after scenario of what could happen as a result of what's going on around you, what might happen because of what you might have done in the past, or what will happen as a result of what you're doing now. Now, this is the thing about, thank you. This is the thing about anxiety, right? A lot of it is, I didn't see that. A lot of it is stuff we make up in our heads. Like a lot of it, like for me, what I used to be really bad with, which I've been able to bring down a whole lot. I would create these whole long, hey Deshalyn, I create these whole scenarios, like full-blown movies, productions in my head based on what I think could happen, right? Does anybody else do that? Like you could literally write a movie about the stuff you just picture in your head that could possibly happen. Like I could write movies about some of the crazy stuff. It starts with one thing, and then by the time I'm done, like 50 million things have happened in my head, right? 50 million scenarios, or it's just a whole movie playing in my head, like literally a whole movie. Um, like if my sister doesn't answer the phone, you're like that all the time. Yep. So if my sister doesn't answer my text like within 2 hours, I'm like, I wonder what my sister is doing. Maybe she doesn't have her phone with her because she forgot it at home. But what if she gets into a car accident and, hey, Naya, what if she gets into a car accident? Hey, Finny, what if she gets to a car accident and nobody knows how to contact anybody because they don't know who she is because she doesn't have her phone. But then they will have her ID because she's driving with a driver's license, so they will know how to get in touch with who. They will know how to find out who she is. But how will they know who to contact? None of our family lives in Chicago where she lives, so how will they know to contact me? How will they know to contact my mom? How will they know to contact her boyfriend? I have no clue how they're gonna know how to contact anybody. If they don't know how to contact anybody, she could be sitting down in that morgue. What if she dies and nobody knows that she died and nobody's sitting by her side, and then she could die and be sitting in the morgue for weeks before I know that she's dead, and then I got to figure out how to get to Chicago and take my whole family with me to Chicago, and then if I take my whole family with me to Chicago, then we get there and her body's in the morgue. Oh my God, where are we going to bury her? How are we going to fly her body back to where she's from, Detroit? Okay, we fly her body back to Detroit, then we got to get everybody to the funeral, and then we finally get everybody to the funeral, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to deal with the fact that my sister's passed away, and then my mom is depressed. What if my mom tries to, like, that is a whole movie, right? That is anxiety. That scenario right there. In the present, my sister didn't answer the phone. And so because of that, I go off with a million different scenarios. And this is the thing. This is the thing about anxiety that's so dangerous. It's never anything positive. Do you realize that? Like, do you recognize that? If your anxiety starts to like go off at the hinges, like it's time for a movie, it's never anything positive. It's always, it starts worse and then it just continues to get worser, right? That's not even a word, but that's exactly what happens. It just continues to it just gets worse and worse and worse. And by the time you're done and you've had this whole scenario, your heart is beating super fast, you're almost in tears. Like, I've thought scenarios like that before, and I'm almost in tears. I'm terrified of what's going to happen to my sister. And then my phone goes off, bloop. Hey, I was in the shower. And I'm like, oh. Now I have to figure out a way to calm myself down because I done killed my sister, had her whole funeral, and she just in the shower. It's all it's never anything positive. Hey, poet. So that is something that I've dealt with in the past, and I'm going to talk to you about how I've dealt with it. Hey, Allie. So that is a sign of anxiety. If you are continuing to come up with these crazy scenarios, I don't want to say crazy, with these scenarios in your head that you have created based off of a past, present, or future situation. And that deals with social anxiety as well, and separation anxiety. What are all the things that are going to happen as a result of this? Or what if this happens? Sometimes it's not even something realistic, but because our mind is always going, that's just where we go. You're welcome. You thought she ran away? Yep. You had all these terrible mindsets and she just hid. Yep. Hey, you're local. So some of the symptoms, remember this is according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. I am not having you to identify yourself. Hey, Riley. So we have nervous, irritable, on edge, a sense of impending danger, panic or doom, breathing rapidly, trouble sleeping. Now, I know some of y'all have this because at 12 a.m., y'all writing me messages talking about something, hey, sis. And I'm like, ain't you supposed to be in the bed? I can't go to sleep. And it's because your mind is always going. Going. I think this going to happen. What if this happened? And then you thinking about scenarios at school. If this girl say this to me, this is what I'm going to do. And then you thinking about the whole scenario. Never a good scenario. We never say, I'm going to say this to her tomorrow, and then maybe she'll hug me. And then we'll become best friends. And then I can imagine us going to school together and us raising our children together and us really just having the best friendship and her being my mate. We never think positive. It's always, she gonna say this to me and then I'm gonna say this to her. And I'm not gonna hear her first because I'm not gonna get suspended. But then I'm gonna say something so bad it's gonna make her hit me, and then we're gonna end up fighting, and then we're gonna be sitting in a chair. Like, you think these terrible scenarios. It's always terrible scenarios. Never the positive, always the negative. You've had it your whole life. Yeah. It happens. It happens. So, one thing that I've realized for me about anxiety, talking about jealousy, we'll talk about doing another video. Oh, good, Laurie. That's a good story. So one thing I've realized about anxiety is that anxiety is, like I was saying before, is very fear-based. It's really all based around fear. A fear of something happening, a fear of something not happening, a fear of something not going the way I thought it would, a fear of what could possibly happen 10, 15 years from now. It's all based on fear and not having control. Some of us deep down, we just want control of everything. I know that's an issue that I've been dealing with for years. I want to be in control, because if I can be in control and I can put my hands on it, then it's possible I can prevent it. But it's the moment that I realize I can't put my hands on something to change it, that's when I have an issue. Hey, Hamilton fan. That's when I have the biggest issue, is when I can't put my hand on it to be in control of it. And so because we cannot be in control, what ends up happening is we worry. And that worry starts to really cause us to have fear and anxiety around what we cannot control. So another thing that goes along with anxiety is a fear that something is coming and we're not ready. So sometimes, in math class, at some point you're going to have a test. But at week 1, the teacher says, open your book to page 4. And you look down and you don't understand. So automatically you're saying to yourself, I'm about to fail this test in 6 weeks. So you're afraid because you're like, how do I prepare for this? I don't understand what's on page 2. There's no way I'm going to pass the test in 6 weeks. So your anxiety starts to build. And then before you even hit page 3, you've already shut down because you told yourself with your anxiety, I'm going to fail this test. And so instead of you wanting to put forth your best effort to pass the test or come up with ways in order for you to at least get a B or a C on the test, what ends up happening is you completely shut down. Now, instead of thinking, how can I pass this test? We're thinking, how am I going to explain to my parents that I failed this test? Even though we've never taken the test, we don't know what the test looks like. We don't even know the material because we haven't seen it yet. We're not giving ourselves any grace. We're not giving ourselves any compassion, any space to at least learn or try. In our minds, we just automatically shut down. Thanks, Ron. We automatically shut down. And so when 6 weeks gets here and we do fail the test, what do we say? Man, I'm so stupid. But the thing is, you're not stupid. You shut your mind down. Your anxiety caused you to shut your mind down at the beginning before the test even got here. So if your mind, if we don't start doing some of these things I'm going to tell you in advance, before you even get to a certain pit stop in what you're learning or what you're doing, you'll already know that you're going to fail at it. And if your mind continues to think, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, if that's all you tell yourself in your anxiety and in your worry, how do you expect yourself to have any type of faith that you're going to pass? How will you have any type of encouragement that is going to work out if at the very beginning of a situation, you've already counted yourself out? And so we have to deal with this anxiety. We have to deal with the worry. Because if we don't, it will continue to stop us from being all that we're supposed to be. Hey, Maya. It'll stop us from being all that we are meant to be because we continue to cancel ourselves out because of what's going on up here. And this is what controls our actions. It's what controls our words. It's what controls our emotions. It's what controls us. So if this is what controls everything else, and as soon as I open something up and it looks hard, I just completely shut down, then my actions, I'm not going to do anything to get better. The words that come out of my mouth aren't going to be positive. So I'm not speaking positively about myself. I'm not speaking positive about what I could possibly do. My anxiety shuts it all down before I even have a chance to start. There were so many times I wanted to start something like this, but my anxiety stopped me because I said to myself, okay, I'm going to start something. I'm going to start this channel and I'm going to encourage young girls all over the world and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And then what kicks in? Boop, anxiety, crazy, a random thought comes in. But what if so-and-so sees your video? What do you think they're going to say? And I'm like, well, they know my past. They know who I used to be. They may not approve of my video. Well, if they don't approve, who do you think they're going to tell? Well, they do know a lot of people that I know. They'll probably get on there and they'll probably laugh at me. Yeah, they're probably going to laugh at you. They're probably going to laugh at everything that you post. They're probably going to laugh at everything that you do. So you probably just shouldn't do it. And when I wanted to start, and I didn't even put my hand to the mouse. I didn't even click go live yet. And I already canceled myself out of success because of my anxiety. So that's what we're here to defeat today, right? Because I'm not going to allow you to continue in anxiety, because what I don't want to happen is you being so young, you cancel yourself out from your destiny. You cancel yourself out from your purpose, because this is running everything. This is convincing you that you can't do it. You can't control your anger. I'll do a video on anger. Inbox me so I don't forget. But we're talking about anxiety today. So I need us to get control of this and monitor this so that our actions and our words begin to speak life about us, begin to speak positively about us. All right? Another thing, anxiety, I talked about that. It causes vivid imaginations and we dream up the terrible scenarios. So we want to be careful. Hey, Ariana. Anxiety can also be generational, or it could have entered in when you were younger. So it's important to identify where your anxiety comes from if you have anxiety, right? If it's been identified you have anxiety. Because I'm not saying that you got anxiety. I'm just saying it's a chance, and you should probably go talk to somebody about that. So like for me, I know a lot of my anxiety and my worry. Bye, Laurie. I know a lot of my anxiety and my worry comes from my mom. I'll tell you the exact scenario how I know this. So one day we were driving home, and we were driving home in the dark, and there was a car in front of us, and it was so dark, no lights were on. Hey, Mel, I'm good. No lights were on, and so the car in front of us was driving, and a homeless person walked in front of the car. The car in front of us hit the homeless man. And so the driver gets out, they go to check on him. The driver is like crying hysterically. My mom stops, she screams, "Oh, Jesus." So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Mom gets out, goes and checks on the driver, and we leave, we go home, right? So we're like, man, that sucks. That's terrible that happened. So the next day is church. So my mom goes to church early because she was in charge of the sound. So my mom is like, hey, I'm going to church. I need y'all to stay up, or I need y'all to wake up and start getting ready at this time, because I'm going to come home, pick you up, go right back to church, because I got to go back and do the sound. I said, okay, I do have kids. Thanks. So my mom leaves, and she leaves me and my sister at home. I'm older at this time, so she could leave me at home. So she's calling, and I'm a really deep sleeper, or I used to be. I used to be a very deep sleeper. I couldn't hear a thing. I used to have those little alarms that had the little bells and would sit it right next to my ear, and I would still be knocked out sleep. Wouldn't wake up at all, period. So that's how deep I was sleeping. So my mom started calling, trying to wake us up. And neither me or my sister was answering the phone. We were both knocked out sleep. So all of a sudden, I hear the door slam open. She's like, "I've been trying to call your phone. Why are you not answering the phone? I don't know what's going on with you. I need you to pick up the phone." And I'm just like I shot right up like this. I'm just like, I was just asleep. But she had so much anxiety built up based on the traumatic incident that we had saw the day before. So in her mind, that terrible thing happened. Terrible things are just going to keep happening. So it's just like this effect of just terrible. Okay, I saw that man get hit by a car last night. That's terrible. Oh my God, my kid's not answering the phone. Somebody done broke in the house. Oh my God, what if she went out the house and she had to go out the house to get something? And what if she got hit by a car? Like, my anxiety comes from my mom. She has excessive worrying. If I didn't answer the phone, she was blowing my phone up repeatedly, nonstop. So I know I got my anxiety from my mom. So identify that. Is anybody in your family? Does anybody in your family deal with anxiety? And if so, now you know that it's generational. It's something that you were either taught or something that came through the womb. And then also, it could come from you experiencing a traumatic experience. So if you were very young and you experienced something like being dropped, or you had a really terrible fall when you were younger, or if anything like that happened to you, hi Ari, if anything like that happened to you, that can cause trauma, which causes you to worry and be afraid that things are going to start happening. Because one incident happened, and so it's almost evident that other things are going to happen as well. Yeah, people are saying my aunt deals with it, my dad has it. Yeah, so it could very well be generational, and it can also be based off of trauma. Okay, so those are some of the avenues and some of the doors why you have anxiety. Separation anxiety could come away if anybody left your life when you were younger too soon. It could come from it could be generational. So if somebody left somebody in your family too early, it's like a fear of, I don't want to let you go because I'm afraid of what happens if you're not in my sight. And that goes back to control. See, Ariana? It goes back to control. I can't control what happens to you when you're not in my presence. So I'm afraid that if you leave, something bad is going to happen. So I think that's a lot of what separation anxiety is. Hey, Hudson. Okay, you waiting for a doctor? That's good. That's good. So when it comes to anxiety, we're dealing with past, present, future. So the past, one thing we have to start understanding is, thank you, Snowy, love you too. There's nothing you can do to change it or anyone. Hi, Valeria. That's what you have to understand about the past. Now we're talking about dealing with the anxiety. So if you're anxious about the past, what you have to begin to tell yourself and understand and also accept is that there's nothing you can do to change it or anybody from your past. So you can't change anybody's mind about who you are. You can't change what's happened before and how that's affected you now. There's none of that you can change. But we're going to talk about addressing the past. Even though we can't change the past, we can address the past and then learn from the past. That way we can impact our present and we can impact our future. How do I know you have it? How do you know you have it? Go back and rewatch the replay because I talked about a little bit of it. But first, talk to your mom about it. See if you could possibly have it and have a doctor diagnose you. I'm not going to diagnose you. Okay? With the present, when it comes to addressing the present, we want to understand and accept that we are here. If we're unhappy with where we are, we can change it. And these are the ways I can change it. Hey, boy, no problem. That's what we have to accept. Because with anxiety, since it's all up here, we have to start changing our minds. We're talking about anxiety. Hi, Camila. So if I have to start changing up here, that means that when the past scenarios start to come up and I start worrying, I have to say, no, I'm going to stop. I cannot change the past. And there's nothing I can do to change it or anybody from it. When I'm being anxious about my present and my thoughts are running crazy, I have to say, no, we're going to stop. Because it's the thing, you have the power to stop it. I don't want you to think you don't have the power to stop your mind from running, because you do. Why? Because it's your mind. It's your mind. So because you have the power to stop it, when those thoughts start going, you have the power to say stop. And we say, I am here. I'm here in this moment. If I'm unhappy with where I am right now, I can change it. These are the ways. And I'm going to create worksheets and put a link to them up because we're going to talk about that like through this. But like I always tell y'all, make lists, write things up. Like I want y'all to start doing that and get in the habit of it, because it will help you to calm your anxiety down and get control over your mind again. Because that's really what it is. Some of us have lost control of what's going on in our minds. And so we want to regain that control. And then with the future, it's not here yet. What is anxiety? It's persistent and excessive worry about a number of things. That's what it is. Hey, Luna. So it's not here yet. So when it comes to the future, I'm starting to get anxious about the future. I say, stop. The future is not here yet. But if I want to impact what it could be, I can do that today. So now we're starting to take control of our mindset. We're taking control of the future. So I say, hey, Mars, I say, the future's not here yet, but there are ways that I can impact what it could possibly be. Here are the ways that I can do that today. And we take control. We try our best to take control of the situation. All right. So one way that we can start to calm our minds down and get control of our anxiety. Talk to your mom. I'm not saying you have anxiety, just talk to your mom. So we can start to map it out. Okay, and this is the worksheet that I'm going to create for you. So we map it out. So if it's a past situation that you're having anxiety about, so if it's, you got into a fight with your best friend, okay, and now you're anxious about what your best friend is saying about you, what she could be posting about you on TikTok. You're anxious about what could be said about you. Same with relationships. I'm anxious about what they're going to tell somebody about me. I'm anxious about what my next relationship is going to be like. Are they going to call my next boyfriend? Are they going to call my new best friend and tell them what I'm like? I need to figure that out. I need to know if they're going to do that. Okay, so our minds are going about the past. Now we're talking about past, anxiety about past situations. Hey, Lauren. So we say to ourselves, I did not like the outcome. And then we address what happened. I want you to write this down. Okay, so if you have pen, paper, or screen record me, whatever you got to do. Okay, I'm going to repost this, but I want you to take this in. I want you to start taking notes. Okay, because y'all come to me and say, I have anxiety. I want to give you some ways to work on that. Okay, or listen to the replay or wait for the worksheet because I'm going to put one together. So when we're anxious about a past situation, we talk about what we didn't like about the outcome. What is making my mind run so much? Okay, I didn't like that me and my best friend, we got into a fight. I said this, she said that. That's what I didn't like. Okay. Or that's what I didn't like, and that's what happened. Okay. Now, what was my role in it? Okay, my role in it, I continued to egg the fight on. I said things I shouldn't have said. I was rude. I didn't try to fix the issue. I continued to press the issue. That was my role. Okay? If you don't like the outcome of what happened, how can you adjust it for next time? Because remember, we're talking about if I feel like I have no control, I haven't yet, Hudson. We're talking about anxiety. I'm questionable. So if we don't like the outcome, remember, we're trying to regain control of our mind. So our mind is running because the outcome was something we didn't like. So what we want to do is adjust and say, okay, what is it about the outcome I did not like? And how can I fix it for next time? So next time the situation comes up, so next time I'm fighting with my best friend, next time I'm fighting with my boyfriend, next time we get into some type of argument, or me and my teacher going back and forth, or me and my mom are going back and forth, and I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop replaying it over and over. I can't stop thinking about what I could have done differently. I can't not think about any of those things. I'm going to bring it back into my world of control. We call it locus of control. So what I can't control is next time this happens, because we said I cannot change the past. So because I cannot change the past, what I can do is address the past and learn from it. So I didn't like what happened in this scenario. So my steps, I discussed what happened, why I didn't like the scenario, what happened in the scenario, what was my role in the scenario or the incident, and if I don't like it, what can I do next time? So if I didn't like the fact that I fought with my best friend, so for my next best friend, I'm going to make sure I'm not saying anything negative. If she says something negative to me, instead of me saying something back, I'm going to address it with her and sit down. Remember, we talked about sitting down, having a conversation with those toxic people. I'm going to watch my mouth. I'm going to forgive quicker than I have before. And that's how I regain control of what's going on up here. That's how we regain control when we're thinking about past situations. Now, when it comes to the present, okay? So now we're in another, so if my mind is going about my present, so let's say I get into my next math class, my new grade, and I turn to page 2 and I have no clue what is on this. What if you don't want to talk to those people? Write a letter. Or if you know it's toxic and you know you need to get out, just let them know that you're leaving. You want to be courteous. You want to let them know you're leaving, and then you want to learn from that situation. So Karma inbox me, okay, so we can talk. So if I get into my new math class and I open to page 2 and it looks like a foreign language to me, and my anxiety starts to run. Remember I talked about that earlier. Okay, I'm about to fail this math class. I hate math. I can't stand math. I don't understand nothing about math. I'm just not gonna make it. Right? We're gonna stop. We're gonna say to ourselves, okay, I'm here. If I'm unhappy with this, I can change it. Here is how. So then we begin to say, what can I control? Okay, I can control how I learn. So I can control that maybe I go to a tutor. Maybe I tell my mom today, after opening a page 2 in math, Mom, I'm going to need a tutor for this. Okay. I can go to my teacher and say, I saw this and I realized I'm really going to need some extra help. Do you have something I can look at in advance? I can Google it. I can go to Khan Academy and look up things to help me with this. And maybe I get ahead so that way I don't fall behind. See how we're getting back in control. We're not allowing our mind to run free. We're not allowing us to have movies going on in our mind. We're not doing any of that. We're getting control of our mind again. And we're saying, this is how I can handle this. This is how I can address this. You say you talk to all those imaginary friends. Yeah, you definitely need to get out more. So you want to get back in control. Yep, Khan Academy is I use it as a teacher. I loved it. Loved it. So in the present, we say, if we're having anxiety about our present, we stop. We say, if I'm unhappy where I am, what can I do to change it? These are the things I can do to change it. Okay, I can get a tutor. If you and your best friend are going through it, hey, my ganga. If you and your best friend are going through it, okay, I don't like what's happening. I don't want to let my anxiety take over. I don't want to sit up at 3 o'clock in the morning and be wonder why me and my best friend fighting. Nope, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what can I control in this situation? Okay, I can control what I say. I can control what my response is when my best friend says something terrible. I can control if she remains my best friend or not. That is within your control. So take back that control of that situation and make up your mind what you're going to do. All right. Future, when we're anxious about the future. So we say to ourselves, okay, my mind is running crazy about the future. I say stop. And this is something that I had to do. I even did this out loud. Like if people were walking by me, they might have thought I was crazy. But I didn't care because I wanted to regain control of this. I wanted to regain control of this. So I would be walking, my mind would be running. Mind going. Dream. Come up with crazy scenarios. And I'd be like, nope, stop. We're not going there today. I would literally have to say, no, I'm not going there today. Okay? Same thing when you're mad. Nope, I'm not going there today. Okay? Because if I go there, I don't like the outcome. You need a Zoom class. That's what I say. I'm going to create a website. Y'all stay tuned. It's going to be up either tomorrow or the next day. And y'all can come in and I'm going to go live on there too. So so I'm going to get control of my mind because I know if I get very anxious, my stomach, I feel nauseous. My heart starts running really quick. Hey, this account. These are all the things that starts happening to me. I don't like how I feel. I'm up till 1 o'clock in the morning thinking about it. I'm up thinking of crazy scenarios. I'm making myself feel sad. I'm making myself feel angry. I'm making myself feel sick. So I need to get control because I don't want to feel that way. And I'm going to get control of my mind because I don't want to cancel myself out or imagine these scenarios, end up mad at people, frustrated with people, and stuff hasn't even happened yet. So I'm going to get control. So if I'm thinking about my future and my mind is running, I'm going to say stop. I'm going to say the future's not here yet. But if I want to impact it, what can I do to impact that today? So I ask myself the question, or I write down, which I want y'all to really start doing. I write down, what would I like to happen? What would I like to happen in the future? Okay, these are the things that I would like to happen. Okay, if you're anxious, like let's say I'm anxious about college. I don't know what college is going to be like. I see these movies about college. I'm just coming up with these crazy scenarios of what my college experience is going to be like. Stop. The future is not here yet. But what can I do to impact that future? What can I do to affect that future? Okay, so let's stop. What would I like to happen? I would like to go to ABC College. Okay, now, never thought of that to stop. Yeah, I'm telling you, it works. It worked for me. Okay, what would I like to happen? I would like to go to New York University. Okay, so I'm going to go to New York University. And I'm going to figure out what their requirements are for somebody to get into college. Okay, they require a 3.0 GPA. They require you to have a 21 on your ACT. They require you to be in at least 2 extracurricular activities. And I'm just saying this. They require 2 extracurricular activities. And I'm going to need to have a really good essay. Okay, this is what I would like to happen. What can I do to adjust right now to ensure that that can be a very good possibility? Right? Because we don't want to say this is exactly what's going to happen and then it not happen and we feel bad. But we say to ourselves now, while we stop our anxiety and we say these are ways I can make it more 90% than 30%. So what can I do now? Okay, it says I need a 3.0 GPA. Okay, right now I have a 2.9. So I know that this year I need to get at least all A's and maybe 2 B's, and maybe I can work in a C because of that math class. And I can get a 3.0, boost my GPA. Okay, check, I can do that. All right, they say I need a 21 on an ACT. Okay, I haven't taken the ACT yet, but I did hear at school that they're going to give an ACT prep class for free after school. Okay, I need to tell my mom I need to sign up for that, and I'm going to make sure that I do that. Check. Okay, 2 extracurricular activities. Well, right now I only have 1, but there is another one I can do at my church. There's another one I can do after school. So I'll tell my mom I want to sign up for that. Check. Okay, they want an essay before I get in. Okay, they want an essay. I'm not very good at writing, but they do have a tutoring program at school that helps with English writing. My teacher offers something after school for us to do writing as well. Okay, well, let me go ahead and sign up for tutoring, right? Hey, German Shepherd. So these are ways we can stop being anxious. I don't want to say stop. We can try our best to not be anxious about the future, but we can work on how we have a better control over what could possibly happen. Instead of it being a 20% chance, we can adjust now because we have the control to do that. And we can say, this is how I can end up there. A 90% chance over a 20. House party. What are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about everything but what I'm talking about. Hey, Dale Sky. Don't be talking about nothing inappropriate because I can't see. I had to kick y'all out. All right. So, if you are, so let's say you're at school and you're having a moment where your anxiety kicks in. Hey. What's that? Cushy. Oh, okay, I'm talking about Zoom. Okay, I'm just making sure. So let's say you're at school and you have a moment of anxiety. Your teacher says, pop quiz. Okay, pop quiz. I didn't study for no pop quiz. I didn't do my homework last night. Dang, it's a pop quiz. Now my mind going, oh my gosh, it's a pop quiz. I'm not going to pass this pop quiz because I'm terrible at math. I'm terrible at spelling. How am I going to pass this pop quiz? Oh my God, if I get another F, I'm going to get a D in this class. My mama's going to put me on punishment. I'm not going to have my phone. I can't even talk to my friends. I can't even get on TikTok. Can't see my Big Sis on TikTok. If I fail this quiz, so anxiety starts to go. Turn the test in, anxiety going even crazier. right? Oh my God, I know I failed it. My teacher gonna be mad. She gonna write comments on my report card. All of us about to be upset about, all of us gonna be upset. I'm gonna end up crying. I'm gonna lose my phone. My life is over, right? Nope. Stop. I'm gonna pull out my piece of paper, and this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write. And for me, writing really helped with my anxiety. Okay? So, in the moment, I had a pop quiz that I didn't study for. What is house party? What are y'all talking about? That's on Zoom. It better not be nothing inappropriate. Like, I didn't pause the whole thing trying to figure out what y'all talking about. What is house party? It's like Zoom. What is it? You have to download it. We're going to use it to talk about our anger issues. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hey, Emma. So let's say, oh, it happened today? Good. Okay, so let's talk about it. So in the moment, a pop quiz came up. Okay. So a pop quiz comes up and you weren't prepared. You didn't study for it. So we take out our notebook, and instead of us flipping out, we're going to stop, and we're going to say, okay, this is what happened. Love you too. I had a pop quiz. What events led up to it? Okay. My teacher told us we were going to have a pop quiz, and I did not study, so I was not prepared. I haven't understood what she was talking about all week long. On Monday, she introduced it. By Monday afternoon, I shut down because I didn't understand it. And so now it's Friday. She gave a pop quiz, and I haven't tried or attempted to understand anything she said. Be honest. Be honest about what's going on. Because what I don't want you to do is have anxiety and you automatically make yourself the victim in your mind. But if your teacher gives you a pop quiz and you haven't been studying all week, you've done no homework, you are no victim. You are the guilty party. And the consequences that come after it are ones that you earned. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. With your anxiety, you cannot always make yourself the victim. So that's why I'm having you to map stuff out and write things out, because I also need you to be honest about what's going on. So if teacher gives you a pop quiz Friday on something she started teaching you on Monday, gave you practice work, in-class work, homework, and you have other websites you can get on, and you did none of those things because you shut your mind down, because you said this is too hard and you canceled yourself out, you are not the victim. Hey, Corn Kermit. You are the guilty party. And the consequences that come are fair. And I know sometimes, and I got this all the time as a teacher, why am I getting an F? When's the last time you gave me homework? When's the last time you participated in anything I was doing in class? When's the last time you raised your hand? When's the last time you asked me for help? Hey, Shara. So I don't want you to let your anxiety trick you into thinking that you have no fault in some of the situations. You do. So teacher gives you a pop quiz. Okay, first I'm going to write down what led up to it. I didn't study. I didn't do any practice work. I didn't do anything practice. I didn't even try to ask for help. Teacher gave me a pop quiz. I know I failed it. Okay, what's the consequence? I'm going to fail this test. Because I'm going to fail this test, my mom is probably going to take my phone. I'm probably going to get a lower grade. She might keep me for after school tutoring because I did this. I have to miss out on being in a certain art club after school because I failed, because I got to go to tutoring. These are I want you to face the consequences of whatever happened. Then, how can I avoid it next time? This is us getting control of the situation again, so that if it does come up, we don't have to be anxious about what might happen. We already know how to prepare for it happening. That's important. So we take control. We get back in control. We don't let our minds have control. We don't let our anxiety have control. We get back in the driver's seat and we say, if this situation were to occur again, how can I be better prepared for it? Because that's what you want to do. You want to be better prepared. You don't want to just be anxious and be overthinking it all the time. You want to take that past experience, document the lesson that you learned, and then also how you can prevent it in the future, how you can prevent the consequences in the future. Hey, Fallen Blossom. So what can you do to avoid it next time? Next time on Monday, when she introduces a new topic, if I don't understand it immediately, I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to take better notes. I'm going to ask my mom, dad, or big sister or big brother to help me, or my uncle or my cousin. I'm going to go to Khan Academy and I'm going to listen to some lessons on there from the grade before me so that way they can better understand it. I can better understand it. On Wednesday before Friday, when she might give another pop quiz, I'm going to ask for some extra help. So now I get ahead of the possibility of this happening. You don't pay attention in class. Okay, so if you have anxiety about school, we know that the reason why is because you're not paying attention. So now we have to figure out ways for you to pay attention. We want to get back in control of the situation. We want to be able to say, these are my ways to prevent it. So here's a quick way. I'm not going to say a quick way. Here's a way to... So I know a lot of us, our minds like run all the time about different things, different scenarios, different things. So I'm going to take a piece, it's something called fear setting, and it's something that I really like. Before the test, you forget it all and you get scared. So we need to go back. This is what we're going to talk about now. Okay. So what if you're scared to ask the teacher a question? Why are you scared of the teacher? Send them an email or write them a note. That gives them time to process it and think about it before you all have a conversation. Try that first. I know if I got notes, I would have time to process it. What about having anxiety in class stops you from raising your hand or having questions? What do you do? Go to your teacher at a different time. So leave them a note. Let them know you need extra help. And then that way they can pull you to the side. Go ahead, Del Sky, be honest. But the anxiety of why you're asking a question in class, we have to deal with that too. Where's the anxiety coming from? Is it coming from you being afraid that people are going to look at you? Here's the thing. People are going to look at you because people usually look at the speaker. Is it a chance somebody might just randomly laugh? Sure. But are you going to let people laughing stop you from possibly passing the class? You have really bad anxiety, so you don't. Oh, you remember one of your teachers raised it? Yeah. Being afraid of having a wrong answer. Here's the thing. This is the thing I told my students all the time. I would rather you be loud and wrong so I can fix it and I can help you. That's true. They, care about their authority. Yeah, I know. Not their students. Yeah, it is. So in that case, go seek out another teacher in that same grade that may be more understanding. That's what I had. If it's any of my kids on here, they could tell you. I would have kids from other classes coming to me about stuff. So that happens too. Go to another teacher in that grade. That happened to me. So it happens. So go to another teacher that you find more understanding. There's at least one teacher in that grade level that is a little bit more understanding. What if you're in college? I would go to, you all should have like a tutoring something on campus. So I would go there then. What if you don't pay attention to class and when you start a test, you get lost on track? If you don't pay attention to class, you definitely going to get lost. You got issues. Some bad teachers will cause your anxiety, stop you from asking. So we have to overcome that. Okay. So if I had a bad teacher in my past, the first thing I need to acknowledge is that this is not the teacher. Okay, we're going to look into it when we get off. So the first thing you have to do is acknowledge, stop. Remember, our minds are going. We say stop. Okay, in this present moment, what did I say? If I'm unhappy with not knowing what's going on in my class, I'm unhappy with answering questions. What can I do to change it? The first thing I can do is acknowledge this is not the teacher from my past that caused me to be anxious to answer questions. This teacher just answered Billy's question, Sarah's question, Rashad's question, Sarah's question, and she didn't laugh at them. She wasn't rude to them. She is not the same teacher. Because she is not the same teacher, I can ask her questions safely. If I don't feel safe about asking it out loud, I can write her a note later or ask her while I'm lining up to be dismissed from school. Go ahead, Emma. Everybody's saying, can I be honest? Go ahead. We have to get control. So if you tend to zone out, they have things like fidgety things that you can focus a lot of your energy on. Do I have any advice on how to grow good, strong relationships with your teachers? Yes. Be open and honest with them. Be yourself. Another way to do that is hold conversations about what's happening in your day-to-day life. What if you think you know an answer, but you're too scared or you think you're wrong? Oh, let me finish what I was saying about that. As a teacher, I would rather you be loud and wrong so I can fix it than be quiet and wrong and I have no idea you don't know it. You get what I'm saying? I would rather you say the answer is 45 and the answer is 44. And I say to you, why do you think the answer is this? Why do you think that's the answer? And you tell me your way of thinking so I can go back and say, you messed up on step 4 and I'm going to go back over step 4. If you never voice, your teacher gets upset with you, should tell your parents that she's getting upset with you for that because that's something you can't help. I would even maybe talk to your counselor, your principal too. So if you are silent and wrong, and then I keep having tests and you keep failing them, and I say, why are you still failing my tests? And you say, I don't understand. And I say, why didn't you tell me 2 weeks ago before the test? I was scared. But now I got to put this bad grade in the grade book because you were scared. So I have to ask you now as your big sis, what's more important? You being wrong and your teacher fixing it, or you getting an F and that going in your grades and you being on punishment? Which one's more important? Because remember, like I said, you have control over this. So you have to start making decisions here. Is being too bold a thing? No. Well, no. I'm very bold. And don't let anybody tell you not. What if you overthink on a test and you're scared to even try on the test because you think you're going to fail? Take a chance. Because it's better for you to, by and saying, it's better for you to do your best and possibly, this is the thing, you have a 50-50 chance. You're either going to pass it or you're going to fail it. So why make sure that you're going to fail it by not trying instead of taking the chance and there being a 50% chance you pass it? Why do that? A lot of times our anxiety ensures failure. Do you realize that? Your anxiety ensures that you fail. Why? Because you never try. Because your anxiety says, don't even worry about it, you're going to fail. Remember we said anxiety is always fear-based. It's always negative-based. So instead of me taking a chance and either passing or failing, I just 100% fail. People say the only person that fails is somebody that never tries. And that is 100% true. Because how do you even know you're going to fail? You don't. Is it a possibility? Yes. You have really bad anxiety. You always think you're going to fail. So guess what ends up happening? You fail because you tell yourself you're going to fail. And so physically you don't put forth any effort, which ensures that you're going to fail. Hey, you're local. It ensures your failure. And then you're upset because you failed. So now you have more anxiety about math or science because you keep failing. But you don't even realize that the reason you failed is because you never tried. You try your hardest and then somehow I feel like I'm going to fail and I can, or you can't. There is a chance that you will fail. But this is the thing. It's better for you to fail because you don't know than fail because you didn't want to try. Because if I fail and I try, that means that there's something I learned that was wrong. So I know now I need to go back and relearn it. But if I never try, I don't know if I know it at all. So it's better for you to try, and it'd be a 50% chance that you pass, or 50% chance that you fail. And then when you fail, you say, now I really know I don't know it. So let me go back and get tutoring. Let me go back over my old notes. Let me go on Khan Academy. What if you're too scared to turn your camera on in class because you think the whole class is going to laugh? There's a 50% chance they will laugh and a 50% chance they won't laugh. If they don't laugh, we overcame it. If they do laugh, you address it and you tell the teacher. Also try and fail this online school. Also try and fail. So because we're continuing to fail, we know we need to seek out extra help. Like, we have to take control. We have to take control. If I don't try, 100% I will fail. If I do try, there's a 50% chance I'll pass and a 50% chance I'll fail. I'd rather take the chance than being sure that I will fail and then having even more anxiety because I did fail. That's what I want you to see. The anxiety stops you from going forth and failing. And then there's more anxiety that comes because you failed. So now instead of it just being, I failed this test, now you're a failure because your anxiety is telling you that you are. It's time to get back in control. Hey, Jocelyn. Thank you, you're local. It's time to get back in control. So another method you can use is step 1 from fear setting. So if you're going through your mind and you're anxious, overthinking everything, something you could do is all of the crazy things you're thinking about, all of the terrible scenarios, write them down. Write them down. So for me in the past, it was, I'm afraid I'm going to fail this class. I'm afraid I'm not going to graduate. I'm afraid that, hey, Caitlin, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my friend. I'm afraid that me and my boyfriend are going to break up. I'm afraid that I won't have enough money to pay for college. I'm afraid, you know what I'm saying? So you keep going. Okay. So list out all of the things you're anxious about. List them all out. Okay. In one column. You're going to have 3 columns. Okay. First column, I'm going to list out all the possible scenarios I'm thinking about. Every one of them that I'm anxious about. Okay. I'm going to trace my movie back to the first part of it. Yes, you're overthinking. Yes. Not about everything, because you could have, if you failed math in the past, there could be a fear there of failing again, but that shouldn't stop you from continuing to go on. Okay. So first column is, what am I anxious about? What am I overthinking? What am I worried about? The second column, next to every single one, you're going to write out prevention methods. Okay, so if I'm afraid to pass this math test, how can I overcome that? I study more. I go to the study hall. I ask my teacher for extra work. I go on Khan Academy. These are my prevention methods. Remember, this is me getting back in control. Hey, copy and paste. This is me taking control again, control of my mind, control of my thoughts. Okay, then in the third column, you're going to list out ways to prepare if it does happen. So that way you are prepared. Okay. Anxiety comes from things we think it just might happen. So if I already write down what could possibly happen, I already know what to possibly expect. Inbox me, your local. Inbox me. Okay. So my first column, I write out what are the possible outcomes. What are all the things my mind is going about? Thank you, Artsy. What are all the things your mind is running about? Second column, what are the prevention methods? So how can I prevent those things I'm always thinking about, I'm always anxious about? How can I prevent them from happening? Then the third column, okay, even if I use the prevention methods and this still happens, what can I do? What if you ask a question in class, your teacher gets mad, and then you get really embarrassed? You just have to shake the embarrassment off. But your teacher shouldn't be getting mad at you. But teachers are very frustrated during this time. So see if you can inbox her one-on-one. Because I think as a teacher, like thinking as a teacher right now, because I was one, but I stopped. As a teacher right now, teachers are very frustrated. Okay, so dealing with the whole Zoom meeting at the same time is probably very frustrating. Try speaking to her one on one. Try sending an email. Try sending a chat message one on one, and then go from there. Because that way they can decompress from the day and what's happening in front of them, and they can address you one on one. So that would be my suggestion with that as a past teacher. Okay. So if I write out my prevention methods, my ways to prepare. So if let me do mine. So if I say I'm afraid to pass, I'm afraid I'm going to fail my math test. That is the thing I'm anxious about. In the second column, I'm going to say, okay, these are the ways to prevent me failing. I can go to the study hall. I can go back a grade and see if it's something that can prepare me. Inbox me, Evil Duck DQ or something like that. Okay. I go to study hall. I can ask my teacher for extra help. I can go to Khan Academy. I can Google it to understand it. Those are my way. I can do my homework, ask more questions, email my teacher. Okay. Let's say I did the prevention methods and I still failed the test, right? Here is how I'm going to handle it if I do fail the test. Okay. I'm going to take my test and I'm going to write down the correct answers and see what I did wrong next to my scratch paper or next to the answers I gave. I'm going to show my mom ahead of time so she doesn't see it on my report card. So that way she's not angry when she sees that I could possibly fail this class. I'm going to get ahead of her being upset. So that way when she gets my report card, I can say, remember I told you about that, mama. Remember I told you this is why I got that grade, because I didn't understand place value. And so now that back then I didn't understand that it was ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. But now I understand it's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So now I completely understand the place value chart. So that grade is going to come up. That's how you get in front of it. Because I wrote it in my just in case this happens file. Just in case it happens. Right? She said this is the longest time she's been on. If you study but you don't feel confident, what do you do? You write about why you don't feel confident. So this is the present situation. In the moment, or what would I like to happen? Where is it? Present. Okay, what can you control about when you're studying? Okay, I can focus on the amount of time I'm studying. If I don't understand it, what I can control is I can go see a tutor. I can personally go and see a tutor. I can go and Google it and follow it step by step. I can go to my teacher after school and tell her I studied it, but I still don't understand. So that's how you get back in control. What are the areas I can control? I can't control math. Math is, was, and will always be. Okay? I can't control math. What I can control is how I get the information and how I understand it. That I can change. So whether, like for me as a teacher, I used to do songs because I know some kids learn by art, learn by music. I would come up with different letter. I can't think of what they're called, but you have a letter that represents everything because some kids were able to learn that way. Some kids had to learn with blocks. So maybe you approaching your teacher and not being afraid and not being anxious. Your teacher says, well, you didn't understand it this way because you're not this kind of learner. You're this kind of learner. So let me give you some help in that area. But if you never tell them, how can they help you identify that that's why you're not learning? What if you fail a class, but you don't want to tell your parents because they'll get really mad? You should tell them before they see the failing grade, though. That you should do. So that way you can get ahead of it and explain why you're failing. And then explain how you're improving since you've started to fail. That helps. If you just let your mom get that report card with that F, you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. And you may still be in a little bit of trouble after they see the F. They shooting stars. But at least you got ahead of it. What if your teacher is strict and when you ask a question she just went over, she gets mad? Ask her in an email later on. Because as a past teacher, something that used to annoy me is I just said this and you're asking me again. What were you doing when I said it before? Especially if I took the time to break it down. But if you come to me one-on-one after it's over, I'm more patient because everybody else is doing something else and I don't have to try to answer your question and monitor the whole class. So ask her one-on-one. You used to get report cards first and get rid of it. See? How do you get better at reading comprehension? Ooh, that's a good one. Inbox me. One thing I would say, break it down by paragraph and take notes on the outside of the paragraph. Do I have advice on anxiety when you want something, you want to show something or you want to use your talent? Absolutely. So, same fear setting. What are the worst possible things that could happen? What are the outcomes? This still deals with anxiety, my gang. What are the things that could happen? Okay? People could laugh. You could forget the words. You could forget the dance moves. The music may not work. They could cancel the show and you prepare for nothing. Somebody could boo you. Somebody could throw a tomato at you. Like, list out all the crazy scenarios you could possibly think of that would give you anxiety. Okay, how can I prevent this? Okay, I can practice more. I can show a few people beforehand and get their opinion on it. I can get so focused on the talent that I'm doing that I don't pay attention to anybody else in the audience. I can have them turn the lights up so I don't see anybody in the audience. So those are my prevention methods. Okay, what if some of those things happen? So what if I forget the words? Okay, well, then I need to just figure out how to hum or dance along to it just in case I forget the words. Okay, if somebody boos me, okay, I'm going to mentally prepare myself for that, but I'm going to tell myself to keep going, and I might just stop and laugh, or maybe I could stop and prepare a joke just in case somebody boos. So if somebody says, boo, you suck, I'll be like, yeah, I think so, but I don't think so. Or you could say, I know that was so corny. If somebody says, boo, you suck, you can be like, you do too, and keep going back to your talent. Then the whole audience laughs because you made a joke, and now you're back to doing what you were doing. If somebody throws a tomato, you can add ducking moves in your dance. You know what I'm saying? It sounds silly, but these are things that we're anxious about. And so it's important for you to get ahead of it and just prepare yourself just in case. You've been really stressed about school lately. What do you do? Okay, same thing. Make a list. What are you stressed about? What are you anxious about? Okay, that's the first column. Second column, what are ways you can prevent any of those things you're worried about or stressed about from happening? Okay, just in case they do happen, what are the ways to prepare for it? Okay, tips on speaking in online school. Okay, drink some water before you speak. You can clear your throat. You can write your question down, word it the way that you want to word it, and then ask it from the paper. That helps a lot. That's what I do. Like before this, like I knew about anxiety, but I definitely wrote down notes that I've been reading from. So just to make sure I didn't trip too much over my words. You write stories and you want to show your mom, but you always get anxiety about it and you don't know why. One of the reasons because it's something that's personal to you. And so if you've ever experienced rejection, sometimes we're afraid to show something close to us out of fear of being rejected. So your mom loves you. She wants to know about your talents. So shake it off. If you want to, you can fold up one of your stories, give it to her when you're leaving the house or when you're about to go to school so she can read it and have time to think about it and see it. What if you were too tired to go to school? Go to sleep at night. Hey, Galaxy, go to sleep. Stop staying up so late. What time is it? 9:12. Well, it's about to be Saturday. What if your parents don't support your dream? Ooh, that's a good one. Let me tell you the truth. Big sis truth moment. Your family and sometimes people very close to you will not always support your dreams. Because in their mind, they had something better dreamed up for you. And this is a conversation for another day. And sometimes they don't agree with what you want to do because it doesn't align with what they wanted you to do. And so that's not really a you problem. Unless it's something like stay in high school, right? College, I'm not going to speak on that because I don't want a vice parent coming after me. But sometimes it's they had an idea for you. you're going a different way than the idea they have for you. And so there's a clash. And I definitely experienced that. And we can talk about that later. What if you cannot sleep? So if you cannot sleep, I will ask you, why do you think you can't sleep? It's because your mind is running. If your mind is running, I would say do this exercise. Count down from 10, count down from 20, and continue to count or count up to a high number. Something I do when my mind is running, I put on the Bible app and I play it in the background, and that helps soothe me to sleep. If your mom always calls you, inbox me Captain Batty. That's okay, I will cheat you later. What if you get body shamed every day? Inbox me Bora Bora. We'll talk about it. All right. So those are the ways I think it would. Those ways can help you. Those 3 columns are ways to help ease your anxiety because you see everything on paper. And some of the things you're worried about, you'll be like, am I really still worried about that? Like you'll put, is my ex-boyfriend looking at my profile? Why does that matter? Like you'll start saying, you just finished writing them down, you feel better. Good. Very good. Very good, Emma. You'll be like, why am I still worried about my ex-boyfriend? I have another boyfriend. Why is he even still in my mind? Evil Deku girl, inbox me so we can talk about it. So I want you all to use those methods. Okay, I'm going to come up with worksheets to help, but I definitely want you all to use those methods. So last thing I want to talk about was how I dealt with my anxiety. So I use these things. I definitely did the fear setting. I definitely had to do the stop. We're not going to go there. And I had to address and really stop my thoughts in their tracks. Okay. But another way, I had to trust God. Right. And so there were a lot of scriptures. So when I would say, like, when I would put my hands together and say stop, the worksheets will be in the link on my bio. I would start reciting a scripture for me because that would automatically stop that running because it's the word of God. It stops it right in its tracks. And if you don't believe and you're uncomfortable me talking about this, you can go ahead and go. I'm not offended. But this is me sharing how I know I was able to overcome my anxiety and how I continue to do it. Yeah, definitely. Show me. Definitely, Emma. Definitely. Evil Deku girl, if you think people will make fun of you, do the list. Do the list I talked about, the 3. What about social anxiety? So, same thing, okay? I'm afraid to talk to so-and-so, okay? I'm afraid because these things might happen. I'm afraid to raise my hand in school because I think this will happen. I'm afraid to talk to my teacher because I think this will happen. So, boom, boom, boom. Write them all out. Okay, how can we prevent that from happening? Okay, how can I prevent my teacher from being mad or going off on me? How can I prevent people from laughing at me? How can I prevent all the things I said I was anxious about socially? Okay, even if I do the prevention methods and they still happen, how am I going to handle it? And that gives you a way to prepare just in case it's about to happen, and a way to handle it if it does happen, even if you try to prevent it. How do you know who your real friends are? Go watch my video on toxic friends. My clip on TikTok. All right. So for me, I had to call out scripture. So one that I really used was, so when fear would kick in. So if I, like at the beginning, I said I text my sister, she doesn't answer for 2 hours. And my mind would start going, oh, what if she's in a car crash? Oh, what if she died? All of this stuff. I would say, stop. And I would say, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. And that would shut the emotion down. It would shut the anxiety down. It would calm me down. And it would make me think logically. Okay? It would take me from thinking fearfully, and then I began to think logically. What are the positives? What could she really be doing? Before I think so negative, what else could she be doing? Let me focus and think about something else. Hey, Tink. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Roxy. Welcome back. Okay. Another one I thought of is do not worry about anything, but pray about everything. Do not worry about anything. Pray about everything. How do you deal with feeling lonely? I'll do a live on that. Do not worry about anything. Pray about everything. Do not worry about anything. Pray about everything. So that's that. Stop. Remember, when those thoughts start going, we're going to stop. We're going to get back in control, because when your mind runs like that, you've lost control. And they just keep spiraling. Nope. Stop. Okay, if I'm worried about the past, I cannot change the past, but what can I learn from it? How can I ensure that what happened in the past doesn't happen again? What if you overthink things a lot and then you just start crying a lot? Same thing. In the moment, what happened? What events led to what happened? What was the consequence? And how can you avoid it? So if there's no consequence, how can I avoid this from happening again? Because really, we overthink things because we think stuff is going to happen. And so what we need to do is try to get ahead of it. Okay? So a lot of times our anxiety kind of shakes us because we don't have a way to handle it if it happens. We're afraid that it will happen and we will not know what to do. So the method that I gave you gives you a way to prevent it, possibly prevent it. But then if you can't prevent it, how do I handle it? Right? So think about everything that's going on right now. Okay, coronavirus. So my anxiety is I'm afraid I'm going to get coronavirus and die. Let's be real. Let's be real with what's going on right now. That is a fear of mine. That is anxiety. Okay? How can I prevent it? I can wear a mask. I can stay indoors. I can be sure to sanitize my hands if I do go outside, if I do go out. I can do my best not to touch too much. And if I do touch it, I can use hand sanitizer immediately after I touch things. I can go outside more. I can take vitamin D. I can build up my immune system. So those are my prevention methods. Then if I do get coronavirus, what are things that I can do? Okay. I can get a good cough medicine to help clear my lungs of mucus. I can drink tea. I can continue to build my immune system. I can do my best to avoid contact with other people so other people don't get sick. I can go get tested for it as soon as possible. So you come up with your prevention methods, and then you come up with how do I deal if it happens. So that way, if the scenario pops up in your head, can you please? Oh, hi, Diana. Is it Diana? So with anxiety, what you're thinking of is a scenario. With the tools that I'm giving you, the fear setting, if the scenario does come, you already know what to do because you wrote it down. So that stops the thoughts in its tracks. Right? So what the purpose of what I'm telling you is you want to stop those thoughts in their tracks. If anxiety is persistent worry about a number of things, if I do the method of the 3 columns, I can deal with those things as the worry comes. I have no reason to worry anymore because I have a prevention method and I have a way to handle it. So the situation is dealt with on all sides. You understand? Y'all understand what I'm saying? You want to deal with it on all sides, because the reason your mind runs is because you don't know how to deal with the situation you're thinking about. You don't know the ways to deal with it. You don't know the ways to handle it. And so if I come up with the prevention method, I can possibly stop it. But if I come up with ways to handle it, if I don't, then I've dealt with those ways. So just in case it does show up, my mind doesn't have to run about it. I go straight to the scenario and the solution I came up with. So now we start to stop those thoughts. Right? So if I'm afraid, if I'm anxious about if I'm going to lose my best friend because we got into a fight, okay, that is the thing I'm anxious about. Okay, prevention. I can apologize. I can take her favorite candy. I can go back and say I take those words back. Those are my prevention. If I end up losing my best friend, how do I handle it? Okay, I can get my favorite ice cream. I can go and tell my other friend that I lost my friend. I can delete her number out of my phone. That's how I handle it. So then if the thought comes, I'm about to lose my best friend, I say, no, this is a way I can stop it. If I do lose my best friend, I say, this is how I deal with it. So the thought hits a wall every single time it pops up. So I get control back of my mind. Right? And if in the moment I feel like I can't think of those scenarios and those prevention methods, then I ask myself, how could I have prevented this from happening? Now, some other small solutions that you can use is you take a timeout. And these are like practical. So you take a timeout. You're eating more well-balanced meals, so your stomach is not hurting as much because you ate all that grease, so you ate all them Cheetos and stuff like that. Your stomach's not feeling as queasy. Sleep. Let me say it again. Sleep. Go to sleep. Another one is deep breaths. So if you feel your heart rate racing, we stop and we count down from 10. We breathe in, we breathe out slowly. We get back in control. And then we can start processing what's really going on, what's in my locus of control, because some things we can't control in the world. So we have to get and understand, what are the things that I can control and how can I control them in this moment? Okay? Focusing on the good things. So that was something that really helped me too, was gratitude. So if I'm anxious about something, I stop myself in my thoughts because I have control, because this is my mind. I have control. And I start thinking about the positives. I start thinking about the positive, the good things that have happened in my life. Okay? I talk about it with someone. Okay? Or I write about it. I journal. I learn what my triggers are. So if I know that person over there is going to trigger me, I'm going to go over here. I know if I know math tests trigger me. So one thing I can do is prepare in advance, and then maybe wear my favorite warm socks that keep me calm. Maybe I put on some lavender hand sanitizer and smell it as it comes up. Those are things that you can do. Okay? And then one method that I saw was really good is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So you stop, remember, because we're in control. This is our mind. I say, okay, what are 5 things I can see? I can see my water bottle. I see my mouse. I see my letter opener. I see my charger. I see my phone case. Okay, what are 4 things I can touch? I can touch my pen. I can touch my paper. I can touch my phone cord. And I can touch my arm. Okay, what are 3 things I can hear? I can hear my voice. I can hear the echo of my voice. And I can hear my husband clearing his throat. Okay, 2 things I can smell. I can smell a spray I sprayed on myself. And I can spray my lotion from when I gave my girls a bath. Okay, 1, what's one thing I can taste? I can taste my tea that I was drinking earlier. Okay, now I've taken my mind off of what was happening here and I put it on what was around me. Now I can think more logically. Now I can slow my thoughts down and I can say, what am I anxious about here? Is it the past? Is it the present? Or is it the future? If it's the past, I can't change it, but I can learn from it. So what can I do to prevent that from happening again? If it's the present, okay, I'm unhappy where I am. What can I do to change where I am? Is it the future? Okay, what can I do now to prevent whatever I'm afraid of happening from happening? Okay, so these are methods that I want you to really take in and try to put into place, right? But definitely for me, it was the talking about it, writing about it. It was also focusing on the good things and scripture. Okay, and I'm actually going to put up a list of the scriptures if you want them on my TikTok. So if you want to check them out, you want to look at them, that would be cool. But for me, how do you let go of the past? That's a good one. So we let go of it by learning from it. So sometimes we don't let go because we're not willing to acknowledge everything that happened. And so for me to learn from it, I have to acknowledge everything that happened in the past. So if it's one thing, like if it's a bad breakup, okay, I'm going to write about that bad breakup because the person wasn't a guilty party by themselves unless they really were. But many times there were things I could have done differently. And so I write out things I could have done different, and I write out how I want that scenario to go differently in the future. So that way I take the lesson and I keep moving forward. So just like if you're in fourth grade, you don't take fourth grade with you to eighth grade, right? You just take the lessons that you learned with you. Your mom was in a car crash. Any suggestions? Definitely pray for her, and then whoever is taking care of her, you want to try to take care of them. Maybe make her a card, buy her one of her favorite things. But I can't say don't worry, because that was the hard situation to not worry about. But I would definitely pray, and I'll definitely be praying for you, Kale Chips. Your panic attacks are manageable until people ask if I'm okay or try to talk to you in general. So I would say try to start working on some of those triggers. And if you know people are going to talk to you, what are some preventable measures you can put in place to prevent yourself from having a panic attack? So is it that you need to rub your hands together? Is it that you need to count to 5 before you respond? Is it that you need to notice 5 things on them before you have a panic attack to calm your mind down and so you can engage in a conversation? What if you're too scared to go in a car crash because you think you're going to crash? Okay, same situation. I'm afraid I'm going to get in a car crash. That is the thing I'm anxious about. Okay, what are the prevention methods? I can drive safely. I could take certain roads if I know other roads are more dangerous. Instead of taking a freeway, I could take the side roads. Okay, if you do get in a car crash, what are things that can happen? Okay, I can make sure that my airbag is up to date. I can make sure my seatbelt is where it's supposed to be. I can look up methods on YouTube on how to get the worst injuries in a car crash. Prevention methods to handle it if it happens. Oh, thank you, Watermelon. Love you too. You were with the guy for 8 months and you broke up. You can't really get over him because he keeps coming back and it's hard to reject. You have to make the choice to reject. It's not hard. You just don't want to make the decision yet. And you have to ask yourself why. Why is it hard for you to let go? You have to ask yourself why. When you get cut off, as you're speaking of, and how to handle that. So when you get cut off, one thing is, a lot of this is a choice. Even everything I gave you with anxiety is still a choice. Like, you still have to get off here and put these things into action. So when somebody leaves and they purposely leave on purpose, say goodbye. And you take the lessons from it. What could you have done better? What would you like to be better in the next scenario? How can you ensure that those things happen, or at least 90% ensure that they happen, because life is still about chance. And then you go from there. You got in 2 car crashes with your family, and now you just don't want to get in anyone's car or drive. I would definitely say talk to somebody about that, talk through it, and then slowly make your way into people's cars. So maybe you take a trip to the end of the block and then you come back home. And you do that for like a week. I'm not a therapist. This is just something I thought of off the dome. And then maybe you go to the corner store and then you come back home. And so every like few weeks, you just go a little bit further to your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be every other day. But that could just be your comfort zone. Okay, I'm going to drive in the car to the corner and then I'm going to drive back. Even with somebody, I'm going to have somebody drive me to the corner and then drive me back. Okay, I'm going to have somebody drive me to the corner store and drive me back home. Okay, I'm going to have somebody drive me to Walmart and then have somebody drive me back home. And so that way you build up that trust again. Because a lot of that is still based on fear. Fear of what happened. And trauma. Definitely trauma. So I would definitely, some things you got to do too is pray also. Pray some of those things. Pray that fear. Pray that trauma. Pray that God gives you peace in the midst of it. Because that's very helpful too. All right. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I'm going to put the worksheets up. If not this weekend, next week. Because I'm trying to finish this book for y'all. I'm trying to finish. You suffer from chronic embarrassment due to anxiety. Is there anything you can do about that? The method I gave you. So let's say you are embarrassed to. I'm trying to think of something. You're embarrassed to get up out of your seat at school because you think you're going to fall on your face. You say that, okay? So you have anxiety about falling down flat on your face in school, okay? What are my ways I can prevent myself from falling flat on my face at school? Okay, I can make sure my shoes are tied. I can prepare myself to get out of my seat before I stand up. I can, at home, practice ways to get out of my chair to ensure that my legs don't cross and I don't trip. I can scan the path of the way I'm going to walk out of the room before I get out of the room to make sure there's nothing I can trip on. Okay? I can take slower steps and not walk too fast to get out of the room to ensure I don't trip or bump into anybody so nobody laughs. Okay? Let's say I do fall flat on my face. How can I prevent that embarrassment? Okay? I can make a joke out of it. I know for me, when I fall, I bust out laughing. So I'm not sitting there feeling embarrassed. I laugh with everybody else. So I can start laughing when everyone else laughs. Another way I could do that is I could just lay there and breathe, and then I stand up and continue to go with my business. Or you could come up with a cool joke. So if you do fall down, help, I'm falling and I can't get up. And then that makes everybody laugh and that was a joke, but it's more about the joke you made instead of you falling on your face. See how we have prevention and then we have a way to handle the situation that stops the anxiety. I don't want to say it stops. It helps with the anxiety. But this is all a choice, y'all. It's all a choice. It's all a choice. Okay? So the same way you let your mind run is the same way you can come up with strategies to deal. Okay? And I want you to know that. The same energy your mind takes up to run and come up with all these scenarios is the same energy your mind can come up with strategies to handle and get ahead of situations. All right? I'm going to get off of here. Updates. So what do I want to say? Okay, the next 2 days, if you weren't on here at the beginning, I'm coming up with an online community for us. You will have to sign up with your parents' email if you're under 18. And it's a place where we can chat. We can go live on that platform just in case whatever happens with TikTok happens with TikTok. That's that. That'll be ready in the next 2 days. So be on the lookout for the link in my bio. I'm also coming out with a book for you all talking about the power of standing out. So everything we talked about standing out, being yourself, not being afraid to be different or Instagram. Well, not really Instagram, more so the website. So the power of standing out. So that'll be available with a journal companion. And I'm also recording these so if you miss out or you miss a segment of it, you can watch the replays on YouTube. How do you deal with school stress? Same way. Oh, and the worksheets for anxiety will be available probably next week. I'm not going to promise this weekend, but probably next week. All right. So before I get off, as always, I'm going to pray for you about anxiety and worry. All right. And if you don't believe, you can go ahead and log off. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not offended, but I'm going to go ahead and pray. So, Father God, in Jesus' name, I thank you for every little sister that's on here, every little sister that's going to watch the replay of this video on anxiety. I give you honor and I give you glory. I thank you, God. I'm humbled that you would bring these young girls to me. I do not take that lightly. I do not take advantage of that. I thank you and I praise you for every single one. I pray that every single one of them be blessed. I speak sweet sleep over every one of them in Jesus' name. So right now, in the name of Jesus, God, I speak against anxiety. I speak against the running of the mind, the excessive worrying, the embarrassment, the social anxiety. And I speak in the name of Jesus that you will give them your peace, that you will give them your peace in their hearts, peace in their minds. I come against the spirit that continues to run and speak negative situations over them every single time things come up and they are worried. God, I speak to the situations that may have caused trauma in their life to cause them to feel anxious about everything. I come against generational curses where their mom had anxiety, their grandmother had anxiety, their great-grandmother had anxiety, and so on and so forth. That's in the bloodline. I break it and I curse it at the root in the name of Jesus. And I decree and I declare, Lord God, that their minds will be free of anxiety. Their minds will be free from running. In the name of Jesus, God, I speak they will have clear minds to think clearly, that their anxiety won't stop them from moving forward, that their anxiety won't stop them from being everything that you call them to be, that their anxiety will no longer hold them back from being everything that they're supposed to be, that the anxiety will be broken in their lives, the depression, the worry will be broken, so that they can fully go full force into life and be everything that you have called and ordained them to be. For we know you gave them a purpose before they were even in their mother's womb. There was a reason that they were born for right now. There's a reason that you have them in this generation and not generations before and not generations in the future, God. I speak that they will come to understand why they're here, why they were put here, why they were purposed to be here during this time. Even in the moments they feel like they're not supposed to be here. Even in the moments they feel like they're a mistake, God, tell them why they are here. Assure them why they are here. Continue to use my mouth to tell them why they are here on this earth, that so they don't feel hopeless, so they don't feel purposeless, so they don't feel like that there's no point in them living any longer. I come against spirits of suicide in the name of Jesus. There will not be one girl that sees this live, sees my TikTok, sees my YouTube, sees my Instagram, that even considers suicide, because they will understand that they have a purpose. They will understand that they have a destiny. They will understand that they were put here for such a time as this, God. And I speak they are the generation that will change the world, God. Every single one of them will have a big impact on changing the world. And I speak that they will make it to that, oh God, that they will not leave this earth before their time, that they will live long. I come against the spirit of premature death in the name of Jesus, and I speak they will live long lives, that they will see the world change, that they will put their hand to the world and change it, God. And so I speak that anxiety will no longer have hold over them. It will no longer be a power. It will no longer be something that holds them back from answering a question or speaking up for themselves or them walking forward in a talent that they have or a gift that you've given them. They will boldly walk into who you have called them to be from this day forward in the name of Jesus. I speak you will give them strength, that when their mind does begin to run, when the anxiety does try to kick in, they will have the strength to say stop and to reset. They will have the strength to say stop and be able to acknowledge what's happening and take control back, oh God. We command that we have control over our minds in the name of Jesus. I thank you for every single one of them, God. I bless them. I bless their household. I pray that you will be an answer, give an answer to their parents. I speak peace in their households, that they will ease the pains of their mothers, that their mothers will feel some sort of relief. Their fathers will feel relief, oh God. There's no more tension and stress in their homes. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. I love y'all. Love y'all. If you missed the recording, I've seen some people just coming on. If you missed it, check out my YouTube. Check it out. But be on the lookout for that link. I will definitely make a video and let you know it's there for you all to sign up. But thank you all for coming as always. I hope this was helpful. I know y'all was on here talking about house party and all that other stuff. No, I'm just playing. All right. I love y'all. Go to sleep. Peace.